Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday morning, and I hope you enjoyed Chuck's singing version of our prayer time yesterday. And I'm here today with Pastor Ram, and Ram would like to give you a little bit of an update on what he's been up to recently. And so I won't talk too long here, but I will turn it over to Ram at this time. So it's nice to see you.
Yeah, John, thank you so much. And thank you for doing this. This helps me too when you take care of the technical part of it. So I appreciate it. I just wanted to kind of talk to the congregation and speak to everybody and kind of let them know what's happened. It's amazing how fast one's life can take a turn. And none of us ever know when that's going to happen. Just to give you a little background, John, and everybody, I went in for a stomach ailment in January. I had been having some discomfort in my belly, and this was totally different. This wasn't related to the cancer at all. And I had a kind of a digestive problem and maybe a little blockage or whatever, and that was cleared up in a week. But they call it an incidental finding in the medical world. But my doctor, my primary care physician in Fond du Lac, would not let me go until he did a CT scan the day I was in for the stomach ailment. So when those results came back almost immediately, he had me come to his office, and he knew Jane was in the car. And so he asked if Jane could please come in too and go with me. And we figured, well, something's up, so I don't know. Anyway, he said we found a spot. Technical term is mass on your pancreas, and he showed us right on the CT scan. He said you had one of these 2 years ago when you had your gallbladder out. It was not there. So this is something new. And he said, I'm afraid it's cancerous, but that's all he could tell. He's an internal medicine guy, and so he sent me to the GI doc there in Fond du Lac to do a biopsy. And because of where it was located out in the tail of the pancreas, you guys can look it up on the internet and do the biology part of it. But he said, I haven't done too many of these. I'm not sure I can do the biopsy. He goes, I'm going to refer you to Froedtert. And so almost immediately, we were sent to Froedtert. And then I will just tell you this, for the next probably 3 weeks solid, we were running almost every day back and forth to Froedtert for appointments or for scans and so forth. And the moment we thought we may have a day of downtime to rest, we'd get another phone call to come down for another scan. It's been these kind of weeks lately. But then once they determined they did a biopsy, I was actually on a Wednesday a couple weeks ago, I was put under twice in one day. I mean, fully out, with anesthesia. And so I went into the GI lab. They go down, they do a scoping through your mouth, through your stomach, and then they go through the stomach wall because the pancreas is located right behind the stomach. And he was able to, and these guys are the experts, let me tell you. He came in afterwards and says, I got it in 2 swipes. And my comment was, would have taken me 14, so whatever. These are like the best of the best, these doctors. And so we feel really good that we're in good care there. But he said it was cancerous. They had a pathologist in the room while I was having that procedure done to check it immediately, and said it was cancerous, the mass in the pancreas. Um, but they looked around, they couldn't find that it had jumped, and so they don't know what stage it's in. And I will tell you that right now, they still are not positive what stage I'm in. Um, there's some suspicious spots in my liver, but I've always had a weird liver. That's the place that immediately jumps to this kind of cancer. If it jumps in your body, it goes to your liver. There's liver is sectioned off. You guys are going to learn all kinds of things about biology here, but liver is sectioned off. There's like a spot in each section. So it's just weird how it's, and I've always had a strange liver. It's called a fatty liver. Sorry, it's kind of like insulting, to me, but that's what they call it. Usually brought on by overconsumption of alcohol. With me, that's not the case. It's just there. And so they still don't know if these spots are cancerous or not, or if it's jumped. when you go to stage 4 pancreatic, it's because it's jumped to the liver. So they still don't know. But anyway, I was put under twice. The second time they put me under in the afternoon, it was like 2 small surgeries. And I'm just, John, I'm just going to be revealing. Is this okay?
Okay.
This is all right. But you can see
Great
a
reveal
scar
here.
here and a little bump.
Mhm.
And that is my port.
Okay.
And so one of the surgeons put the port in. It's called a super port or something, but it's got like a little rubber top on it and a titanium back. So they can put your chemo and draw blood and everything right from this port. Then they don't have to poke your arms all the time. And so that's coming along nicely. But anyway, they put that in down there. And then a second surgeon, they were working together, actually did a abdominal kind of a scoping, just exploratory. And so 2 incisions in my belly. That's taken a little while to heal, but they couldn't find anything around the liver. They couldn't find anything, between the pancreas and liver or anything, which was all good news, except the scans that they did, lit up a couple places in my liver. So we still don't know if that's cancer or not. That's the thing. So we're in the process of determining that. But in the meantime, I appreciate these doctors so much, John, because they're not taking chances. Within 4 weeks or less, I was taking chemo. I was in a chemo therapy, program.
Right.
And so last week, Tuesday, so a little over a week ago, I had my first round of chemo, which we are doing at the Cancer Center in Fond du Lac. And I have a wonderful oncologist there, Dr. Tolle, who's working hand in hand with the people at Froedtert. And Froedtert's kind of overseeing and they're doing their thing. And it's just been good. But anyway, so they don't know for sure what stage I'm in. So they're treating it like stage 4. In other words, I'm getting blasted, full blast with this chemo as if it's stage 4. And they're doing that as a precaution. However, after I get these treatments every 2 weeks, so after 8 weeks, which will be just about Easter, they're going to rescan down at Froedtert, do a CT scan again, see how the chemo has affected. If the spots in my liver have not changed any, they're probably not cancer. It should be shrinking the mass, though, that's in the pancreas, and then they know that that's working. So that's what we're kind of waiting to see. So prayers right now are really important, and these are the things we need to, if you don't mind, these are the things to be praying for me and for Jane, that it'll turn out, the good way. Because if the spots in my liver or something else are just part of my weird fatty liver or whatever, then I'm still a candidate for surgery, which is great. That means it's contained in the pancreas and they can go in and do surgery, take it out, and maybe do some treatments and be done with it. That's what we're still praying for. And we ask you to pray for us in the same way. But here's the good news. And if you're a biology person or have a nursing background, you'll understand this. Pancreas is behind the stomach. The liver's on the right side. On the left side is the spleen. It's kind of all lined up there. But the spleen is totally clear. As far as they know, the lymph nodes are totally clear. The lungs are totally clear. And my brain is totally clear. You guys knew there wasn't much up there anyway. So that's, that proves it right there. We had the scan. But everything else seems clear. And so those are all really, really good signs. And so they jumped on the chemo. So hopefully it's doing its job. And that's kind of what we're praying for, for these next few weeks. It's just really critical prayer time. Anyway, does that kind of explain where we're at, John?
It's like it's the job of the surgeons to deal with the worst case scenario, and it's our job to pray for the best case scenario.
Absolutely.
And so that's
Absolutely.
what we're all doing. And so, well, thank you for that update, and I think that'll help us focus our prayers in the right direction, and know that there are good outcomes that are available. And so that's what we'll all be praying for.
And can I just mention too that the Fond du Lac, the Cancer Center there at Agnesian is one of the most wonderful places I've ever been to.
Good.
It is
That
just
is,
just incredible. And you guys know I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in God incidences. And
mhm,
I've had a few already that I'll talk more about in the future. But the one I want to tell you about is my primary nurse. When I go in there on Tuesdays every other week, I have the same nurse, and she is a Christian. And she goes to an E-Free church up by Marquezan, and I know her pastor. I mean, it was just unbelievable coincidences. And so I've got at least 2 or 3 nurses there that are praying for me regular too. And that's just so comforting.
right. And that
So,
that comforting is nothing but helpful in terms of healing and
right,
moving forward too. So that's good.
right, right.
And when you feel like you're in good hands, that makes things a lot better. So,
You
all right.
bet.
Well, thank you. Thank you
You
for the
bet.
update, and I guess we'll just look forward to more good news as you feel able to and appropriate to share with us. So, um, all
Absolutely.
right. So, on behalf of
Thank you,
everyone,
John.
thank you very much.
Thank you.